welcome to WoW Wednesday, where every Wednesday we try to meet you out and give you a little bit of the word. I'm not going to keep you very long today, but I am going to apologize for not being here last week. Can't tell you what happened. Can't tell you where the time went. Last week, when I was in class with my students and they asked me, so did you have a good week? And I'm like, yeah, but I can't tell you where my time went. And they said, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, I wake up and it's 8 o'clock and I'm getting the rudimentary things done around the house. And the next thing I know, it's 4:30 and my husband's getting home from work. I've enjoyed doing nothing, absolutely nothing. If I am just brutally honest, I have been going for the past couple of years. Well, actually, since COVID, if I really think back to it, since COVID, I've been running nonstop. So I have really enjoyed the opportunity of just being able to rest and relax a little bit. And I did a no-no. I haven't been in my word as I should be, but I am here today and I am here to give you a little bit of the word. It's something that's been rolling it around in my mind here lately that God's been reminding me of, and maybe you need this reminder too. So we are in First Corinthians chapter 13. We're going to be looking at verses 4 through 8, and I'm sure if you've been around the church or anybody that has any kind of spiritual backing, you have probably heard this voice before, this verse, not voice, verse before. So the way that it's wrote, the way that it's stated is love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wrong. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. I use this as a checkpoint for myself. Brett and I, we've had an issue come up here lately. Nothing big, nothing that is detrimental to our marriage or anything, but it was just something that in my spirit I wasn't comfortable with. And I didn't relay it in probably the best way. And God really reminded me of this chapter. And so, what I mean is a checkpoint to evaluate myself, because that's a lot of what the Bible is not looking at other people and saying you're doing wrong and I'm better than you. That should never be what the Bible is about for you, is you're better about anything than anybody else, but it's a checkpoint for yourself. So wherever the word love is or the word it is, replace it with your name. And if these things aren't true, then you need to evaluate why in your heart that you feel the way that you do. So Tasia is patient, not all the time, and kind. I try to be. Tasia is not jealous or boastful or proud. I get jealous at times. I try not to boast, and I try to be humble. Am I rude? I can be. And a lot of people take my bluntness for rudeness, which I can see why. Tasia does not demand its own way. That one hurts a little bit. Tasia is not irritable. I think we all get that way from time to time. And I keep no record of being wrong. Tasia does not rejoice about injustice. I don't. But I rejoice whenever the truth wins out. Tasia never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. So there's some things that I need to work on. Something else that I wanted to read to you is the Message version, which I've said before, I think is a very beautiful translation of the Bible. I don't use it as a way to study the Bible, but just as a devotional. So this goes through 4 through 7. If I give everything I own to the poor and even go to the stake to be burned as a martyr, but I don't have love, I've gotten nowhere. So no matter what I say, what I believe, and what I do, I'm bankrupt without love. Love never gives up. Love cares more for others than for self. Love doesn't want what it doesn't have. Love doesn't strut, doesn't have a swelled head, doesn't force itself on others, isn't always me first, doesn't fly off the handle, doesn't keep score of the sins of others, takes pleasure in the flowering of truth, puts up with anything, trusts God always, always looks for the best, never looks back, but keeps going to the end. So, where are you at today? What can you work on? What's within your heart to not be able to do the things that Christ tells us that we need to mirror to bring others to Christ? I'll see you next Wednesday.